Top of the morning to you laddies. Was anyone a Jacksepticeye viewer before that became popular and ironic? Honestly, I remember those days. I was in the 7th and the 8th grade. Those were the times before PewDiePie crossed that bridge. That God-forsaken bridge. I think that in this timeline on this earth, that's the breaking point. That's when snowflakes started to come out the woodwork. That's when all this LGBTQ bullshit really kicked up. Once PewDiePie crossed that bridge, if I could go back in time, I would go to that date and I would put a bomb in Felix's apartment complex so that when he turned on his PC, the whole place would explode and the world wouldn't be how it is now. They say that a lot of problems stem from time travel. They say that it's not a real thing. It's never going to be possible because if you go back to the past, then you're going to create a lot of circular causation. It's basically just saying that if you mess something up, then you couldn't have actually messed it up because then you would have never went back in the past. I don't believe that. I think that if you go back in the past, then you're obviously creating a new timeline. So you're kind of on a separate timeline than the one that you traveled back on. But then again, you're on the same timeline. It's weird. Who cares about time travel? That's not what this video is about. This video is actually about the current political state of the world. I know, right? Strange. An Apex Legends video with this guy talking about this stuff. I was just thinking, and I was like, there's a lot of different archetypes, a lot of different I guess that personality traits and thought processes. You're just a product of your environment and the people in your environment. But there's so many people in so many situations, but there's not really that many combinations of who you turn out to be. There's a bunch of big groups and a bunch of subgroups, but at the end of the day, it's not that many. You rarely run into people who are just completely off the wall and completely radical compared to the rest of their group. You will run into a lot of radical people, but I don't even want to say free thinkers, but just original thought. It's very rare that you run into someone who has the words to move you, or who has the words to make you think oh wow, I've never heard that before. It's very rare that you're introduced to new things these days. And so I'm just wondering, what type of person are you? I want to talk about I guess race, kinda. I made a video earlier this month talking about my decree to abolish or absolve everyone of their race so that the world would be a better place. But that didn't latch on, and nobody likes that idea, I guess. So we're just gonna keep going down the path that we're going until someone repeats what I said, and then eventually it'll probably catch on in 100 years or something. But yeah. Black people these days. What does that even mean to you? You see, there was a point where black people only meant the African folks to me. People of African descent with dark skin. But then I started to realize that America is a strange place. You see, the way that Americans view things is actually kind of weird. And I didn't know that because I'm an American. So, a while ago, probably 3 years ago, I decided to start looking at things differently. it wasn't 3 years ago, it was more like 6. That's when I started to see it for how it really is. When the census, you can put other. You're either black, white, or other. And if you're not black in the sense of being African, they lump you in with the white people. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I don't see it like that. I see it because the people in America, there's not really, racism is a thing, but it's only a thing in like ignorant people. So whether it's ignorance based off of you being rich and not having had been exposed to real life, or ignorance off of being poor and you're just resentful and hateful, and your parents taught you their resentful and hateful ideology. But there's two types of white people. There's some that are ignorant and hateful, and then there's just some that are hateful. Everyone's a hateful person. So, regular white people, of course, you're going to be hateful. But then there's the ignorant and hateful. Those are the ones that you see. Like, there's types of politics. So there's informed people and then there's uninformed people. Like, you have an idea. I'm not even gonna say Trump supporter because Biden supporters have the same archetype. It's like, it's not about the candidate that you choose. It's just about how you go about your politics. Some people are ignorant. They base everything they say off of the people around them and just like the little headlines, but they truly do not have any knowledge. They suck at making inferences. They don't have a rational thought process. So there's just two types. There's and that's why I took it down to where I took it when I was younger. I was like, okay, so pretty much in America, you're either black or you're white. That's it. And so I think of it like this. If you are an Asian, a Mexican, a Native American, I'm lumping you in with the Negroes. I'm sorry, but if you wanted to be white, I'm sorry to be the one to kill your dreams. You're a darkie. You're black now. You're one of us. But hey, it's pretty cool being one of us. Unless you're one of the lame ones. But overall, you're one of us. Now, what does that even mean? Honestly, we just gotta stick together. If there's seriously a push against you by white people, and they're seriously trying to oppress you and put you down, then just stick with us. We can stick together. They're gonna eventually have to come to the realization that we are a lot better of a group. I mean, we're so diverse and we got more people, so you're gonna have to come to respect it. Yep. That mentality that I adopted isn't actually how every single black person thinks of. Some people that are black agree with that to the extent that Native Americans and Hispanics, well, mainly Mexicans, we are connected by land to Mexico. They believe that to the extent that they would include Native Americans and Mexicans as black people, but they wouldn't include Asian people. I'm sorry, Asian folks, to the ones who encountered black people who were adverse to them. And then you have the black people that don't view any of them as black. And then you have people within those races that would align themselves with black people. And you have some that would align themselves with white people. Honestly, race doesn't fucking matter. I wish it was that simple. Like, there's so many things that humans do that are just unnecessary and retarded. But because we are unnecessary and retarded as a collective, I guess there's no point in complaining about it. All I'm saying is, I can't wait for the oppression Olympics to be over. Once the oppression Olympics are over, we're gonna skyrocket so far ahead of so much of this retardation that we're existing in. That's one step closer to establishing a united united earth, a new world order. Honestly, I think the fastest way to that, the fastest shortcut is that we create a fake alien race with a fake alien threat, and then we have to come together as humans if we're really going to fight them off. Or a fake alien race that has technology so great that they bestow upon all the humans, and so the humans become enlightened. Um, or we learn that we're all just humans based on the fact that there is an alien race, and so we stop fighting amongst each other. Something along those lines. We need to get put into the intergalactic order, the intergalactic you know what I'm trying to say. It's like just a bunch of alien races that formed a big community like the United Nations. Yeah, what do you guys think? I'm curious, if you're Asian, do you identify with colored people or white people? I know that in China they hate black people and they love white people. But in Japan, there's a lot of Japanese people that love black people and don't hate white people, but they just love black people in the sense that they can appreciate the culture. I like everyone is inclined to their own opinions and beliefs, but I feel as if the idea that if you're not white, you're black, I think a lot of people in America have adopted that ideology. Um, what do you guys think? Also in the news, I don't ask this at all, so I'm going to ask it now. Leave a like and subscribe. Or just leave a comment and don't do either of those. If you didn't like the video, please say that, because the comment would help me know that this is not good content. At least the gameplay is pretty solid. Ain't nobody stepping to Cliffy these days. NRG Asus still refuses to 1v1 me, even after my multiple 4K request videos. Maybe Moist Esports will sign me to their Apex roster.